Anyway, it's time to talk about what we're actually here to talk about. And that is this tweet that I made yesterday. That has 26,000 likes. But you may be like, what did Kick do? Sean, please tell me, what did Kick do? Just look at this tweet. French Kick streamers killed a guy live after abusing him physically and mentally for months. Did I read that right? And I was corrected that it was actually years. Since 2023, French Kick streamers physically and mentally abused a man to the point of his death happening live on stream that they called their friend. Now, I'm obviously not going to show you any of the videos of the abuse, but there is this thread that I want to go through. Like he died live, chat. He went into cardiac arrest live on stream during a streaming marathon on Kick because they were forcing him to stream. So physically and mentally are not even like the only forms of abuse that were happening here. They were also monetarily abusing him. They were using his dependency for money as a way to coerce him into staying in a situation that was just abusive. Like, it's criminal. So I'm not going to show the videos because it's very hard to say what is a TOS and allowed to show and not to show. Number one, and number two, it is literally like a snuff film, essentially. Like, you're watching, I will describe to you what happens in some of these videos, but I'm not going to show them to you. The thread is here if you want to see it. I think the videos should still exist, right? Because they need to be evidence in courts to convict these people, but I'm not going to show it on this stream. And also, a lot of French people are also saying this. Thank you for covering this. I'm merely a voice here. I've gotten a lot of support from like the French speaking stream community and content creator community, because apparently this is not getting a lot of play. And a lot of people were defending the perpetrators of this violence, being like, you guys are so mean. Why are you guys being mean? That these are his friends and the friends are feeling his death too. Like, these are not his friends. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? So I wanna talk about this so that people are not like, letting these people get away with torturing a man to death essentially on a live streaming platform for years. It's Kick was around in 2022. So like almost since Kick's inception, were these people allowed to act, right? Encouraged to act on the front page of Kick sometimes, like committing crimes. So I'm gonna go through this thread. I'm going to describe to you some things that are happening in these videos. Threat, trigger warning for psychological torture, humiliation. The streamer Jean Pormanov, I don't want to mess his name up, is currently hospitalized in critical condition after 10 days of live streaming while being tortured. I see a lot of messages supporting his torturers. I am forced to respond to them. And this was a message that was supporting the insane like friends that they called themselves for this streamer. For now, we don't know if JP will survive at the time I'm posting this. This was posted yesterday. He has since passed from like what was being reported in different French outlets. So they did not just hospitalize him. They essentially, I don't want to say they murdered him, but they definitely had a contributing hand in leading to his death. Manslaughter. I don't know what the legal term or definition would be. That's what the courts to figure out. But I want to make it sure. I want to describe to you exactly what's happening here because I'm not showing the videos. They did not like physically like kill him on stream. Right, but the torture that they were putting this man through for 3 years culminated into him having going into cardiac arrest in his sleep. But it seems essential for me to show what he endured for years in silence, the entire media sphere, except for a local article or one from Mediapart. Unfortunately, too few. Since 2023, JP has been subject to this kind of treatment almost daily by his saviors. It's constant blows under the laughter of his tormentors, under the applause of the community that has built itself on this macabre spectacle. And so this video is just this guy and this guy who's supposedly his friend, just straight up just beating on him. He has boxing gloves on and he's just straight beating on him, like on camera. Why? Why do you think these people are insane? Right? It's content. Right? This is like, if you've seen the movie Nerve a little bit, it's like that, but like worse. It's what can you do when people are just giving you money to up the ante of your tactics. So this is the tame stuff, by the way. This is the tame stuff. You know the average viewer count for this? They were pulling in $50,000 for their marathon streams. Here, I'll get into this as well. They were one of the top kick channels. They were on the front page as shown in the thread. We'll get to it later, right? But they were. Oh, here. This actually has some of the thing. I don't want to like skip through this so you can actually see the escalation of violence here. This is what it says. Why there's so much footage? Because it's happened for years. Initially on Twitch, and then on the biggest French kick channel with 190,000 followers, topped with 20,000 viewers. The more unhinged they grew, the more money they made. Donations encouraged bullying, a vicious cycle. So when Kick arose as a platform to be like, hey, this is the you can do anything platform, that's what's gonna happen. Kick's French X account used to promote their streams nonstop and even made fun of him. The official Kick account. I'll take an opportunity to quote with a few examples, but they really milked his buzz to the bone with all due respect. Kick was not only complicit, they were active participants in this happening. Active participants in this abuse. So yeah, this video is them just beating up on this guy as he's like screaming for them to stop, and they're just laughing. And here, I'll skip to this timestamp just so you can see. They end up grabbing the chair, and all the other people just join in just straight beating him up, holding him in this chair as they laugh at this guy just keeps punching him in the stomach, in the arms, in the head. It's so gross. The videos I will share throughout this thread are difficult to watch, but it's essential to me to do so to make sure you understand the level of violence accessible through the platform like TikTok or YouTube, which are mostly watched by children. Yes. So like, that's the other side of it, is that it is on Kick, but Twitch is the only platform that banned them. TikTok allowed the clips to go. YouTube allowed the clips to stay. Right? The only platform they were banned on was Twitch. And Kick obviously facilitated this insanity. One can notably see clips like this one posted by their community, where JP is systemically seen as being hit by Safine and Owen, the two people he nonetheless considered friends. And this is a video on TikTok of him just like being harassed and accosted and screaming like at these people that you know he thought were his friends. Before continuing, you're probably wondering why JP kept enduring this treatment constantly without having left years ago. One word: control. Naruto, whose real first name is Owen, and Safine, his friend, became friends with JP a few years ago. JP was streaming alone in his mother's house at 40 years old, living off of welfare and a meager income from his streams. Owen noticed him because he was starting to get known for constantly raging at the same game during his live streams. But he really broke through after starting to appear in TK78. His name is not Naruto. That's his like screen name, his online name. His real name is Owen though. From then on, JP began constantly sorry, I was paused that because it was playing underneath it. From then on, JP began to be constantly humiliated, but within certain limits. Since living with his parents, he had no particular constraints, and he could leave whenever he wanted. The problem arose when TK78 had his affair revealed. From then on, Owen convinced JP to join him in IRL streaming with his friend Safine. That's when the physical abuse began, little by little, with new levels of violence every month. This video, you heard him screaming when I unpaused it for a second, right? Is him being literally shot at with a paintball gun. You see this on him, that's paint. They are shooting him directly with paintball guns as he's screaming. That was him screaming. Yes, he's literally screaming because they are shooting him directly with paintball guns. The guy is right, they're dancing. They're dancing as he's screaming, and they're shooting him with paintball guns. From like 10 feet away? TK78 is a streamer, thank you. What can be noticed is that consent was had never existed in these live streams. We see JP being hit, strangled, shot at with paintballs, drowned. This clip is interesting because we can see JP tries as much as possible to never fight back. This is one of the most insane clips out there, right? One of the most insane clips. And I'm just gonna show you a still from this. That is them holding down JP as this guy is literally squeezing his neck. They're playing this game to them, which is how far can we go strangling him before he dies? That's what they're doing here now. They are literally strangling him for content. As this guy is holding him down, this guy is holding him down, and this guy is just like watching. Like, it's absolute insanity. And then it goes as far as he gets a better leverage position to continue to hold him while he's strangling him before he eventually gets thrown off. And people watch this. So many people watch this. Yes, they were being promoted by the French Kick Twitter channel or Twitter page because they were one of the largest channels on Kick, right? And it gets worse than this. When I said the limits were always being pushed further, I was particularly referring to the act of trying to strangle him for as long as possible, holding him down to ensure that he doesn't escape. Despite the cries of distress, his friends continue. This one is worse, right? Because like he's a mess because they have been torturing him essentially. Like if you just look at it, look at the way he looks here. This guy is like smiling as he's like holding him, choking him out, right? As this guy is just like watching from afar, and this guy tries to shove things in his mouth. So when he opens his mouth to try to gasp for air, this guy is shoving things in his mouth to get him to close his mouth. I'm not even joking. That's what he's doing here. This guy is like choking him out, and as he tries to open up his mouth to gasp for air, he just shoves something in there. That is what's happening in this stream, and that is what's happening on Kick. Like that's what he's doing here. He's being choked, and he's just trying to shove something in his mouth. They were being heavily promoted by Kick's official channels. That the JP attributed to all the mistreatment he endured live for years should perhaps shed light on the inaction of Kick. Not even just inaction. Like they were engaging with it in the harassment, which never lifted a finger despite reports, probably too busy tweeting about its good times. Right? Oh, this is even crazy. This is, because I didn't show you this part as well. They're literally holding his nose. As one person is choking him, the other person is holding his nose so he cannot breathe, by the way. Like, I just want to describe this as accurately as possible. But I think you should still, if you are able to, I think you should still watch the videos so that you know what they are doing to him. And it continues on and on for years now, creating a increasingly pervasive torture games for their young audience that feeds their violence. He puts his arms around his neck and then wraps his legs around his neck as well to keep his arms there, to keep him there, and it gets worse. Later on in the video, you can see his legs literally flailing and kicking because he's trying to breathe. Who considers this content? That's the problem. A lot of people consider this content. This is what's being promoted by the Kick platform. Is this Red Room shit? Yes. This is Red Room shit happening on a very public live stream that Mr. Beast is promoting, by the way. This shit is on the front page of the website. So when you see, and this is what I said in my tweet as well, right? Everybody got mad at me when I said about kicking Mr. Beast, but holy shit, what a god-awful scourge of a platform. When Mr. Beast is directing his child audience here, that's what he's promoting. When Mr. Beast does this, that is what he's promoting. When Ethan Klein goes to stream on Kick, that's what he's promoting. When XQC goes to stream on Kick, that's what he's promoting. This is what we've been saying since Kick's inception. This is what a bunch of large streamers, right? Talking about like, oh yeah, no, Kick is actually going to be good. We need competition for Twitch. And when we were saying back then, the platform is going to lead to some insane shit being normalized. And they were like, no, it won't. You have no evidence. You have no proof of this. This is the shit that they're normalizing. When you saw streamers who were bringing in Kick streamers as if it was a normal, regular platform, when you saw streamers who were talking about Kick as if it was just an alternative to Twitch, that is the shit that they're normalizing. It's almost like we called this shit when the platform was created. When you create a platform that is based on just you can do anything, it would obviously lead to things like this happening and being promoted on the platform. We always heard, oh, it's not Kick, it's just the users. Oh, when there were pedophiles creating child porn on the platform, creating CSAM on the platform, oh, it's not Kick, it's these bad actors. We have people literally creating revenge porn on the platform. Oh, it's not Kick, it's just these bad actors. When Steak Eddie is donating money to these streamers, when they're doing these things, oh, it's not Kick, it's just the bad actors on the platform. And you have Kick French account promoting these streamers who are torturing somebody live to death. This guy is dead now. He died on a marathon live stream in no small part due to his friends. And we're still treated as though that Kick is a valid alternative to Twitch. It's so insane. It's so insane that it needed to escalate to this point. And you know what? I'll get to this thread as well, but I want to get through this thread first because I want you to see the entirety of what we're talking about, and then we'll get to like the reactions of people and how it's being reacted to, and hopefully, like legitimately, I pray that this gets the EU involved to take Kick down. It is a platform that has been a scourge on this earth for far too long. It's been instance after instance after instance of absolutely the most horrific behavior happening on a platform that's being marketed towards children. It needs to go. It needed to go 2 years ago. A few weeks ago, Naruto asked JP to say live that if he died on air, it was solely due to his lifestyle.
À moins qu'il dise face caméra là maintenant que si demain il meurt en plein live, c'est dû à son état de santé de merde et pas nous.
Non.
Comment ça, non?
Rien du tout.
Comment ça, non?
Non. Je fais rien du tout.
Comment ça, non? Regarde la caméra, dis. Imagine demain, je te dis n'importe quoi. On est en plein live, boum, tu t'énerves, tu te mets à crier.
In this clip, you can see they ask him over and over and he doesn't want to do it.
Et bim, tu fais un arrêt cardiaque.
C'est pas grave. Du moment que
See, look at the camera. Oh my.
Quand ils vont voir que tu m'as porté secours ou qui m'a porté.
Non, mais ça marche pas comme
non,
ça.
Mais imagine, ça arrive au moment. Vas-y.
Les gens, ils vont s'en prendre à nous.
In the clip, JP says no, absolutely not. Other guy say it.
Alors que c'est dû à tes 46 ans de vie minable.
How did he die? We'll get to that in a second.
Non, à moins que.
Sorry, I missed it. No, you're good. I just want to make sure you have all of the context of like the insane shit they were doing to him before we get to how it got to this point, right? Because they've already tried washing their hands of it, right? And there was a tweet that had 17,000 likes, being like, everybody's being so mean to Owen and the team, but they were his friends, right? How dare you all yell at him? They lost a friend too. 17,000 likes. And I want to make it very clear that these were not his friends. They're not. These are insane lunatics that found a man that they can monetarily hold numbers over their head to take advantage of him. They basically trafficked him, yes, essentially. They coerced him, they manipulated him, they removed him from any support system that he had, essentially, right? And they used money and notoriety as a way to keep him in this situation. Who feeds these constant humiliations? Owen, who has been running everything from the start. He knows he must constantly up the ante to satisfy their young viewers who always demand more. This is Owen, by the way, the guy who's telling him to apologize. Oh, they just have him on the ground in a chokehold. That's just it. And this guy just keeps kicking him for some reason. This will lead JP to have several moments of complete breakdowns where his nerves give out. But he is aware that he can do nothing because if he responds with violence, the blows will be harder and he's not physically capable of responding to them. Yeah, so these are just videos of him like mentally breaking down because these people are insane. And I'm gonna show you this for a second because I want you to notice something. That logo that's plastered on the background as advertising. It's not like Kick didn't know. Proud sponsor. They were tweeting about it constantly. They were well aware. Kick banned them temporarily when they were investigated by the police in January, then reestablished the channel, and now immediately after the guy died, they banned him again, so there's no proof. Yeah. But like, good luck telling that to the courts. I'm sorry. And for good reason. What keeps him there is this state of mental and physical fragility accumulated initially from a life of profound loneliness. He reveals he never had a relationship or real friends before Owen and Safine. The latter does not hesitate to remind him of that.
Ta vie, c'est la défaite. On a fait 6 mois, allez, 4-5 mois à Malte. T'es sorti 18 jours d'affilée, frère. 50 jours d'affilée.
J'ai inventé un chiffre.
Ouais, pourquoi?
Un nombre et tout. 18 jours. Hein.
T'es sorti 17 jours d'affilée. T'as même pas ne stress. Tes lèvres, elles ont même pas effleuré les lèvres d'une autre meuf. T'as dépensé mais des milliers d'euros. Frérot, tous les soirs.
I can't say what I think about this person. I will be banned on all platforms if I say what I think about this person, genuinely. Physical, mental, emotional, monetary, verbal, you cannot craft a so clear-cut example of just evil, like demonic shit than like that's happening here. When people talk about like where does social media go, how does it manifest itself in the words of the human psyche, this is what they talk about. It is precisely this point where it is essential. Why does JP stay despite enduring all of this? Because Owen is constantly hammers into him that they are his only true friends who pulled him out of loneliness and incidentally out of poverty, which JP representing a huge gain for them. And this is what the chatter wanted to show me. As soon as they realized how much this macabre spectacle could bring in, they convinced him that without the salary tied to the stream, JP would never have a wife or a child. All of this justified by a rhetoric of a masculinistic personal development. And so, French chatter, if you want to listen and give me the translation of this, please.
Moi, je te le dis texto, de toute façon, devant la caméra. Oublie. Regarde-moi dans les yeux, je te parle. Oublie. Regarde, je peux te le dire direct. Hein. Oublie le fait de trouver une meuf. Oublie le fait de te marier. Oublie, genre, le seul pourcent de chance que tu avais d'avoir des enfants, oublie-le. Et puis, au lieu de remettre ça sur la faute, soit des gens, soit de nous, soit de ça, remets seulement la faute sur le fait que tu es un immense fils de pute qui n'est pas prêt à faire d'efforts pour soi-même. D'accord? Bon, que tu fasses pas d'efforts pour toi-même, déjà c'est très grave, mais si en plus maintenant t'en fais pas pour l'amour, pour ton rêve, t'es un immense trou du cul. Voilà, moi je te le dis.
Forget you will find a wife, you won't have kids, it's your fault, you're a son of a bitch. That's...
Faut que tu changes. Ça te tuerait vraiment. Genre là, si maintenant.
I'll tell you straight, forget about getting a girl, forget about getting married. Forget about some chance you had of having a kid, you're a son of a whore that doesn't improve himself. JP therefore had to keep enduring. So the point of this is that they hammer into him that like he can't go anywhere. They did the manipulator 101 playbook originally, which is they isolated him away from any family that he did have, right? And they said, we are your friends. You owe us for being your friends. You must allow yourself to be abused, like for us to keep being your friends. That's what you have here. JP therefore had to keep enduring over and over in the hopes that with his salary, 6,000 euros per month, he could achieve that life goal. Except that having never had so much money before, he just spent the entire amount each month on all kinds of entertainment. And I don't know if I want to show these because I don't want to show the abuse itself. The Kyrie 78, the guys kind of started the whole thing, made an insta. Oh, that's TK 78, right? The guy who had an affair. Okay, that makes sense. I finally put a piece of the puzzle in. The guy that kind of started this whole thing made an Instagram message saying JP should be ashamed to die on his birthday. It's crazy. I decided to delete all of my birthday stories to pay tribute to my old friend JP. Are you leaving me too? Aren't you ashamed to leave like that on my birthday? On my birthday? Aren't you ashamed to leave like that on my birthday? How many of you will be let me go like this? Sorry, this is Google Translate's bad. You will be engraved in my memory forever. It's so gross, bro. His situation made him a prisoner. Either he continued to be tortured every day alongside the only friends he had, with a salary that allowed him to maintain his lavish lifestyle, or he returned to live with his mother, knowing he would no longer have any income. Right? That's coercion, chat. It's textbook coercion. It is the manipulator playbook 101. Except that sometimes he broke down, and Owen constant manipulation wasn't enough. So they changed his method to be more coercive to keep him captive. So they did like live gaming streams, like chained together. JP decides to abandon the live chain together. I assume that's what that says.
On va jouer là maintenant.
Tu diras que je m'en bats les couilles, j'ai de la clope.
Yes, multilingual.
Il a pas le choix. Il a pas le choix. Il a pas le choix.
Of course he wants to be
Même
changed.
ta communauté.
I mean, Kai did a similar thing with I think Speed, right? Where they played chained together while being chained together. Like that was the thing that they are doing here. Should never chain people again. I'm with you on that one. But I think JP like left that because he's like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Il a pas le choix.
La communauté.
Rouek couché.
He doesn't have a choice, saying he has to play.
Ah, mais c'est pas moi.
In that clip, the guy calls his cousin, who's the illegal landlord of JP, and tells him to throw him out and change a lot because he left the room. Are you serious?
What's your name?
Which I knew about the apartment situation. I'll get to that in a second, but that's insane. That's very okay. Like I was saying that there was more like implicit coercion there, but he's literally saying, if you don't play this game, I will lock you out of your apartment and you have to go somewhere else. For context, TK78's girlfriend or ex, who was 16 when they started dating and being 33 years old, died of an OD last spring. That's why he said, you too, disgusting stuff. That's so gross.
Tu le gardes. Interdiction, sacrilège. T'as pas le droit de le retirer. Non, t'as pas le droit de le retirer. Tu bouges pas. La tête de homme, tu bouges pas. La tête de homme, tu vas au bout.
Like they're trying to force him in to play because they need him for content. They instantly made him homeless, and keep in mind his mother, who is his only backup plan, lives on the other side of France.
Une meuf, la tête de homme, tu le mets.
Une meuf, non.
You don't have the right to take it off. You're not allowed to take it off. You have to go all the way. All my life, you're not moving out of here. It's so gross. Every video is so gross. And it's important. I hate to keep bringing this up, but it's important to remind you that it's content like this that is promoted by Kick. It is content like this that is promoted and egged on by the Kick live streaming platform. The official Kick France Twitter page promotes content like this.
C'est pour une meuf, ne change pas de sujet. C'est pour une meuf. Enlève ta main, je te dis, enlève ta main. C'est pour une meuf. Enlève ta main. Je sais très bien que c'est pour une meuf. On a parlé d'Akira, enlève ta main.
Bon, bah, quand on aurait fini, vous
For a girl.
Prends ça.
So now they're manipulating him using his want for a relationship by being like, oh, if you do this, you'll get a girl, you know? He's doing the equivalent of like, oh, girls would love it if you do this, right? I'm sure you get a girlfriend if you actually went all the way through. To also further manipulate him. Part of the reason why he stays, right, is because they're saying you have no prospects in life. We're your only friends. You've never kissed a girl. You've never been with a girl. You only hire strippers. You've never had a relationship. And now he's using that in this moment to be like, if you want a girlfriend, you have to stay, right? If you want to get a wife eventually, you have to play this game to further manipulate him. He's saying, move your hand.
Ah, mais regarde, laisse-le. Mais là, regarde là.
Without us type shit, yeah.
Là, regarde ce que tu vas faire. Tu montes dans la voiture, tu vas chez toi, tu prends les clés, tu prends tes affaires, tu fermes les clés, tu vas donner les clés à mon oncle de l'appartement.
And I assume here he's saying to, I'm interpreting his freaking hand signs. He's saying, like, change the locks. You know, lock the door. Don't let him back in. The worst was when Owen wanted to amass more and more money with his marathon projects, making sure, as you can see in several clips, to chain JP up for hundreds of hours until he completed the challenge. A live stream like this lasted over a week with systemic beatings, humiliations, and sleep deprivation, earning more than 50,000 euros in donations alone. In addition to the salary from the Kick platform, which has always endorsed their content, pushing JP to the limits. First video is him breaking down crying, saying, I can't deal with these beatings.
Voilà, niquer ta mère, va pas t'es enculé. J'en ai marre de faire traiter chaque fois. J'en ai marre, va niquer tes morts. Voilà, va niquer tes morts. C'est pas, vous savez que traiter. Voilà, ta mère la pute. Ouais, ton père le bras de fils de pute. Ouais, JP, va te faire enculer.
He's saying, I can't deal with these insults. My mom, my dad, JB, your mom. Basically, he's fed up with the situation and he says he has medication to take, and the other guy said they don't give a shit to try to get him to stay. That's the point, main point / vibe. Yeah. Yeah, they basically says he's not taking his medicine. Yeah, so that's the right. That's the overarching point. Not necessarily that they didn't switch his medication specifically, but like they flagrantly don't care about his heart medication and will push him to keep streaming without taking his heart medication. That's sort of the overarching point. When it was the final straw, he would demand to leave for good. Owen threatened to throw him out in the street since he arranged for him to live in his apartment belonging to a family member without a lease. So as to keep that sort of, I feel like that's sword hanging over his head. I feel like this is a French reference that I don't necessarily get.
JP là il a bougé, il est parti. Donc il a quitté là pour rien, c'est lui qui sabote. On lui a rien dit, il lui a rien fait. Il sabote, je sais pas, il fait le malin, il est parti. Je veux que tu récupères les clés d'appartement de la voiture, qui paye le loyer qui manque, et il peut partir. Il peut se mettre au bord de la route, et manger, et rentrer chez lui à Metz. Voilà. Ouais, comme
basically to keep the threat of making it homeless. Basically a constant threat. So no, we cannot summarize the situation as JP is consenting because he stays. There's an entire mechanism of control that has developed around him throughout years of humiliation, trying to break him mentally and convince him that what he was enduring was for his own good. I remind you that the clips I shared are only about 10 clips among hundreds that are still available on every platform except for Twitch, which banned him, but keep in mind that worse clips have been censored. He experienced worse than what we've seen. How could such content have been broadcast for years without any real reaction from the justice system, aside from a seizure of equipment repurchased in one live stream, a brief detention? How could so many young people have been exposed to such normalized harassment of a vulnerable person? Beyond the tragedy that JP endured, who only aspired to have friends to open up to the world after a life of solitude, how many young people who've consumed this content daily might have replicated it on the most vulnerable people around them? Yeah. Never again can we allow such a situation to happen. I'm counting on you to talk about this, raise awareness around you, alert others to the impact of harassment and violence, especially on vulnerable people. If you see this type of content on platforms such as TikTok and YouTube, report it constantly, hoping that real pressure will be put on these platforms. Worst being Kick, which has funded this with a dedicated contract worth several hundred thousand euros. The person responsible for this, Owen, has just shared this via his Instagram account. Shared via his Instagram account his passing. This is an immense tragedy and an admission of failure for both organizations controlling this type of content. Our thoughts are with the family who have been harassed for years by this community. Owen's the Naruto guy, by the way, who's like facilitated a lot of this harassment. I've always feared the day I should write these words. Unfortunately, tonight JP left us. My brother, my sidekick, my partner, 6 years side by side without us ever letting go. I love you, my brother, and we will miss you terribly. I ask you all to respect his memory and not share his video of his last breath in his sleep. For his family, for us, and his second family, rest in peace, my brother. They filmed him actually dying. He died on a live stream. This is a post from one of the torturers. Yes, this is a post from one of the main torturers. This guy. One can still find dozens of clips, some from this week, where you hear JP's mother, whom Owen regularly calls on stream to humiliate, asking his son to leave, saying that under no circumstances should he endure this.
T'es un gros fils de pute. Au moment où t'as un race de témoin, t'es un gros fils de pute. Ok? Va baiser ta mère.
Regarde lui. Là, attends. Regarde lui et regarde toi. Comme c'est bien fait.
C'est bien fait.
Il est pas content.
Il est pas content, mais
C'est toi, enculé, c'est bien fait. Viens vous faire enculer. Non, je sais que c'est horrible. Je sais que c'est horrible.
Mais ça va
Mais-
repousser.
Là, ça va repousser. Puis moi, j'ai que ça repousse pas. Moi, je recule. Ah, c'est toujours nous, toi.
Mom is telling him he's got a piece of what he did to you. Mom is saying, look what he's done to you.
Ah, c'est jamais lui.
I mean, she's right. She's right. And honestly, I hope she sues Kick for everything they own. Genuinely. She lost her son. And she's like, this is this week, chat. This is literally this week. Where she's like, you have to get out of there. Look at what they're doing to you.
Viens, on écoute ce qu'elle a à dire. Vas-y. Vas-y, on vous écoute.
Hein?
Oui.
Bah oui.
Non, regarde, bah non,
Moi
regarde
aussi
les
j'ai
trois
pris.
cheveux.
Moi aussi j'ai pris
Les trois
Joël.
cheveux.
Hein?
I know no amount of money will bring her son back, but I genuinely hope she takes Kick for everything they're worth. He's holding me hostage. Here's what JP sent to his mom a few days before his death. Hey mom, how are you? Stuck to death with this game. It's going too far. I feel like I'm being held hostage with this shitty concept. I'm fed up. I want to get out. The other guys won't let me. They're holding me hostage. And they read that as content on stream. A shocking story out of France is an actual Black Mirror episode last night where streamer JP died last night on Kick, alive on Kick. For years, his so-called friends humiliated him on stream with beatings, bullying, insults, all for donations. On Monday night, after 10 days of non-stop streaming, 46-year-old Jean fell asleep on camera and never woke up. Viewers watched as his body was shaken by companions, who only realized minutes later that he was gone. In the live video, now widely spread, reportedly shown him inanimate under a duvet with two men nearby, one tossing a small plastic water bottle at him. Jeez, even in the final moments, it can't just not be a dick. Those 10 days weren't just harmless gaming or chatting. There were 10 days of nonstop humiliation, extreme violence, sleep deprivation, even being made to swallow toxic products, all live and fully monetized for donations. After falling in with his new group, he moved in. Streaming became his whole life. On camera, his friends, in quotes, kept reminding him how they had rescued him and how he owed everything to them. Clips of them mocking his past, saying he never had friends, never even had love. They called him disabled, beat him, even strangled him. And all of it was played for laughs, with viewers sending money to keep that abuse going. Other streamers saw it coming. Ava Mine said months ago that this channel should have never been public, both the damage it did to viewers and the way Jean himself clearly wasn't in control. After his death, she says, it pisses me off to have been right. Yeah. France's digital minister, Clara Chapas, called the case an absolute horror, announcing a judicial investigation and said that she's contacted Kick directly. But media parts of the government was warned months ago. Back then, Kick simply wasn't a priority. Yeah, of course. Kick, the Australian streaming site, said it couldn't comment due to privacy rules. Cool. Amazing. Their terms ban heinous violence, but moderation is looser than Twitch. In the end, someone died on their platform, sparking a national debate in France on social media responsibility.